Welcome to the Shared Path. I'm Maggie Linton. We go into the world of creativity with entrepreneur and inventor Maria Lee Driver. She's founder and CEO of Fresh Mink Pets. Maria began her entrepreneurial ventures at 19, opening her first hair salon. After 20 years and multiple salons, Maria moved on to all natural product development with Orias O'Shea. We'll discuss what keeps her creativity going, plus lots more. So very happy to chat with my dear friend, Maria Lee Driver. Welcome, Maria.
Hey Maggie, how are you?
Fine. I see you got a pet sitting there. Is that inspiration?
Yes, yes. This is music. Say hello, music. Say hello, music. Yes,
Seems pretty chill.
he's chill. Got music 9 o'clock last night. How about
Oh,
that?
that's a heck of a gift, isn't it?
Yes, it is. And I'm not
Yeah.
a pet parent, but I am now. I am
Yeah.
originally a pet parent.
Yeah. You have been
Yeah,
a you have been a parent, but this is a new kind of parenting,
this
isn't
is
it?
a new kind of parent.
Yeah. Well,
It's a
listen, I'm so
pleasure
glad.
to be here today, Maggie.
Yeah,
Thank you
I'm
so much
glad
for
to
having
have you. Really and truly, you and music both.
me.
As I said in the opening, you began your entrepreneurship at 19, but the spirit and drive for it started even before then, didn't it?
Yes. As a little girl, I'm gonna put music down. Here you go. As a little girl, we grew up. I was born and raised. Actually, I'm a house baby. Um, but as time went on, we ended up living in a trailer. And I remember being outside. Like my brothers would go out and play basketball. They would have all their friends, and at nighttime when the stars would come out, and I would go out and I would turn around. I don't know if this came from television. I don't know where it came from. But my dad was like, I said, look at the stars, Dad. And he was telling me, the Big Dipper, the Little Dipper. And he says, you don't have to go among the stars. He said, you be a star. And that's what I took from my father just saying that. It was just awesome that he had the insight to say, look, you don't have to stop and just look at the stars. I want you to be one of those stars. And it started there. That's exactly how everything started. And I never looked back. Even when I opened my first salon, um, I didn't realize that it was young to open the salon at 19, but I did because that's what I wanted to do. And I knew I had a lot to offer the community.
It wasn't just one salon.
No,
You just kept going and teaching and trying to help others to also succeed. Talk about that path.
yes, it's amazing when you have great mentors. And I say this, and you are a mentor. So when you have great people in your life to guide you, and my instructor, Vivian Simmons, she said to me, she said, Maria, she said, this is not where you want to be at 40 or 50. She says, I need for you to, at 20, you need to start planning out your exit plan. Wherever you want to do, you need to plan it out. But being behind a chair doing hair for till you're 80 years old is not where it needs to be. So I started teaching part time at a Votech Center in Hampton, Virginia, part time as a cosmetology instructor, barber instructor. By within 2 years, I felt like I knew everything. As always, that's me. In 2000, I opened my own salon, which was called Rian's Academy. And then I started teaching people in the community from the age of 18 to the age of 70. It was just amazing how people wanted to, it was a passion. And my profession is a passion. You need to have a passion and patience because it's an art. And from there, I decided to open a kids salon and open the kids salon. And I realized I had a niche with children because I'm the baby at 11.
Oh,
So, yes. And I have my own four. I have four kids and I have six grandkids. So I always tell people, funny joke was, I would have had nine kids like my mom, but I could never find that man in the bib overalls with the pitchfork. I never found him. So I settled for my four. I'm good.
Yeah, you're good to go.
Okay.
The thing is, you weren't just teaching them how to do hair, you were also teaching them business too, and how
Yes,
to run things in order to be a success and not
yeah,
just, get out there and then have problems.
exactly. The main thing, and I heard this from my students all the time. They had a nickname for me. They used to call me slave driver. I said, okay, but we're gonna get this done. So when my students went to the state board, I had no failures. I had one young lady, and she went back and it was a nail tech, and she went back and she took this test, and she got her license because, of course, the encouragement. But I didn't believe in C's and B's. I wanted excellence. So when my students would come to state board, they knew not only just what they had on and their cases, which had Rion's Academy on it, but they knew these people are coming in here. They're going to pass this test because I didn't take C's. I only wanted A's and B's because that way it'll allow me to let them know when you go in there, you have confidence. You're not guessing it, you know the answer. And that's how I base everything. I want everything to be, I have to know the answer. Inquiring minds, I'm that person.
All right. Then you said, okay, done with the hair, done with the salons, done with the teaching. It's time for you to be creative. And boy,
Yes.
Orias O'Shea's really started, didn't it?
Yes. I opened a kids salon again in Philadelphia because when I left Virginia, I said I wasn't going to do any more hair. I was that part of me was just done. But unbeknownst, God had another plan. So I opened a kids salon, and I'm telling you right now, it was just excellent. It just turned out where I love those kids, and I wanted to create something natural for their hair. And that's how we that started, Orias O'Shea. And from there, the Philadelphians put me on the map. They started putting it on their skin. And once they put it on their skin, they realized that the eczema was drying up, the psoriasis was going away. The clients who had lupus, their skin stopped itching. Of course, the kid's hair was growing, and you see, I've been using it. You can see my hair over the
Yeah.
last 13 years. I just continue to use it, and it works.
Yeah.
It works with my nails, with your skin, calluses on your feet, and then I created other things like a fragrance, which you love,
Love
silence.
silence.
Um,
Talk about when you came on my radio show, what happened with you and silence. Because silence to this day, as far as I'm concerned, is one of the best air fresheners, if not the best air freshener out there. You need very little, it doesn't stink up the room, but it gets rid of the smell. And
yes.
and that's what's the most amazing thing about it.
But see, to me, that was so crazy because I didn't realize that I created a fragrance that you can wear and a spray that clears the air. It just cleans the air. It just cleans the air. And I had no clue. And then when I moved to Atlanta, to Georgia, this gentleman was telling me he had a friend come send in this car because you'd already told me about the fish. Okay, okay, so we knew it got rid of the fish.
Yeah.
Never went over my head about anything else. He was sitting in the car, and a friend of his got into his truck. And once he got inside the truck, the guy was just smelling like marijuana. And he was like, "Oh, dude, you got to get out of here." He had just bought some silence, and he sprayed it. And they both sat there and they looked at each other. This is what just happened. He said the smell went away. And he's like, "Do you realize this gets?" I said, "No, I have no clue that it actually got rid of that smell. I didn't." So we sent it out to California, and they tried it in a couple of dispensaries, and they says, "You know what? This product right here, this is awesome. It smells great on as a fragrance, but the fact that you can just spray just one spray, and it just the
It's
chemist said
everything.
it just absorbs. It's like the little bubbles, the little particles just absorbs the odor, and it takes it right away, and it's just clean, just a clean smell."
Did you come up with the idea for number one, the hair product, which obviously looks good because you're looking good there, but also silence? I mean, how did you go into your and what I'll call chemistry mode?
It was so funny. I just did an event last week, and I actually had a chemist. And this has happened to me a couple of times, but this lady, she was a chemist. And she says, "Are you a chemist?" I said, "No, ma'am." I said, "I'm just a cosmetologist." She says, "How did you put all this stuff together?" And she was asking me, she didn't tell me she was a chemist. She was asking me questions. And I said, it was just a little bit of this and a little bit of that, and a little bit of this and a little bit of that. Even the doctor said, "How did you get the 13 ingredients from Orias O'Shea to do what it did and what it's doing?" Because when you put it on, I mean, you use it for mosquito bites. I mean, I could go on and on and on a list of things that people say it actually worked for them. Um, I just I just always like mixing stuff. I always did. And my clients would tell you with the hair, I was known for being a excellent colorist, but you would have a unique color. I had to list down all the things I put in it because nobody could duplicate it. Even I couldn't duplicate it because I'll be in there just throwing stuff together and they're like, "Oh my God, I love this color." And it comes out great. I mean, just nailed it. But I had to start writing stuff down. And I think from that, Maggie, God was preparing me for this day right here. Because once my product got into Whole Foods, I was like, okay, all right, this is serious. It's one thing to service the community and people love your product, but now you're in a major store.
Right.
What is it that I'm doing? So it was so funny when I had to get with the chemist who had to start making my product. He says, "Well, what did you put in it?" And of course, I had to release it and,
Mm.
do the legal legalities to it. But it
Right.
was just amazing that everything that I've been keeping in my head, I had to break it down. So, no, I am not a chemist. It's just a gift, another gift, extension of everything else they've given me.
When you talk about it, about making sure you have your patents and your trademarks, that's also what is so very, very important with everything that you do. I've had our mutual friend Lisa Askeles on, and that's one of the things that she really emphasizes how important it is to do the legal paperwork too, so that you never are challenged when it comes to where'd you get that product and how did it get developed.
Exactly. And with a product like mine, the best thing is to be like Coke. Coke has a trade secret because when people say, "Hey, you know what? I can do what you do. I can make exactly what you make." You say, "Go for it. Go for it." Because of the simple fact is sometimes people think it's just, "Oh, it's just shea butter. Oh, it's just honey. Oh, it's just olive oil." It's not. But the biggest thing is your trademark. You must have your name trademark. So when they do go look at Betty's and they see Arias and they look the same because the color's the same, the smell could be close to the same, but it will never be the same. So yes, it is important. If you don't do a patent, you better do a trademark. You have to do something to cover yourself. But the biggest thing is get it trademark. Let everybody know that is your brand. And you will never have to worry about that ever because that name will stand strong and faithful every time.
I've found you to be just so amazing and creative. And now we move into the pet industry. And I said, Maria, you ain't got no pets. What you talking about? He said, now you got music, but that happened
It just
last
came 9
night.
o'clock last night.
Said, but I got a grand pet.
Yeah,
You
grand
just said
dog.
you had
Dior.
grandchildren. You got grand dogs.
Yeah, I got a grand dog. Dior, actually Dior and Blue. Those are my grand dogs. Yes.
Yeah.
But
But
they
how
live
did
in Virginia. They live in
mm-hmm,
Virginia. So
mm-hmm,
I'm not with them all the
mm-hmm.
time. But that's how I end up making a product because when I come from Philly to visit my daughters in Virginia, I love Dio. I love playing with. He's a toy poodle. And it's just that he would get on my clothes, that smell would get on my clothes, and I had to go visit other people. I didn't have time to stop and change clothes or, you know, that's not going to happen. We got to figure this thing out. So my daughter said, "Don't talk about it, Ma. Be about it." Girl, bye. I was like, okay. When the pandemic hit, we were all closed up. We had nothing else to do. And of course, I'm still creating. And I says, hey, you know what? I've made a big announcement in 2019 that 2020 I was coming out with fresh mink. And I didn't have anything done. The shampoo, the conditioner, the perfume, the sage, I had nothing, but I had the name. So that's what I did during the pandemic. And unbeknownst to me, I can't believe it that it just went from just me making a pet deodorizer to being picked up by Chewy.com. Um, we have major stores right now that I'm speaking to actually put my product line on and to be the first African American to have a national pet line. Who would ever thought that? Who where did it come from?
Yeah. Well, I see people, go to your website, whatever, and people are commenting about it. And it's really quite popular. And the best thing is it's all natural.
Yes, it is all natural. I stick on the natural side because the simple fact, just like humans, the pets also have the same immune system. So you have to be real careful of how you make products for them. And I love the topical. I'm gonna talk, because people come and say, my dog had bad breath. You need to make something for his bad breath. Mm, I'll leave that to the experts. Let me stay topical because I know what works. I mean, because like I said, I make products for humans, so I feel very, very confident I can make it for dogs or for fur babies because any fur baby can use Orias O'Shea. It could be a dog, it can be a horse, anything that you want to smell pleasant.
Hmm. And so Oria's O'Shea, but now you've got the fresh mink pets, and you're rolling along with that, and that's what's so important for people to know that you're out there and you're ready to roll and creating. Are you creating more products under the fresh mink label?
Of course, yes, we're looking at a couple other things to add to it. Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
And,
Hmm.
and so you're not ready to announce that, but you are, like you said, part of
No.
Chewy.com. But the other thing you said, when you went to the big expo out in Las Vegas, talk about that being the first African American to represent out
Yes.
there too.
Well, that's when I was told I had something. You know, a lot of times, and I say this all the time, a lot of times our family and friends, we love them and they love us. And they'll give us the feedback that sometimes they think we want to hear. But if you want to hear something or know about anything, step outside the box. Go to the experts. You know, I want to be a millionaire. So guess what? I hang around millionaires. So I went to Super Zoo to find out, did I really have something? Because I'm a type of person, I need to clear my table. I need to focus on what works. So went to Super Zoo in Las Vegas, and that's when I found out not only out of 1,000 exhibitors, Maggie, guess how many out of 1,000 exhibitors were black?
I know because you told me. Let our listeners know.
Me, out of 1,000 exhibitors, who in the world would ever thought that? Then that's when they started talking to me, and they was like, "Look, if you keep running with this, you're going to be successful." Okay, you have something. That's what I need to hear. And when I got called by Chewy, I mean, when I got back off the plane, people were calling and said, "Hey, we want to connect with you. We want to do some things. Let's make this happen." But when I got on the Chewy platform, that's when I realized, wait a minute, are you telling me there's no African Americans on this platform that has a national brand? And that's when I knew I made history. And then I turned around and made history again. May the 5th to the 7th of this year, we did the first Black Pet Expo ever done, 65,000 square feet at the Georgia International Convention Center, right here in Georgia, right outside of Atlanta. And it was for 3 days. We didn't put it on for one day, we put it on for 3 days. Now, that right there was amazing to be hosted by a Black We at that time, me and my cousin, we hosted it. It was just amazing. It's just unbelievable. So when you say making history, yeah, God
You
had
know,
this all orchestrated.
that's the other thing. You reach back and bring people forward with you. But they've got to be like minded or else they get put to the curb.
Yes.
You want people to have,
Yeah.
oh, well, that's just, it kind of reinforces what you were just saying. You have people who are in your corner and you have people who are not in your corner, and in a sense are jealous of what
Yeah.
you may be doing. But you want to ride with the folks that are doing like minded and also wanting to move forward.
And the biggest thing is I don't even look at, when people say, well, look at what your competition. I said, when you're first, there's no competition. What are you talking about? All I can do now is be better and better and better and better. I mean, you can't change my skin color. You can't change that I'm a woman. So who am I competing against? A product is a product is a product. Back to the trademark. Everybody loves my trademark. So that makes a difference right there. So who am I competing against? And that's the mindset you have to have. Even when I made Orias O'Shea, I went into Whole Foods with a price tag of $22. I remember sitting at the table with the marketing team and they said, well, how did you come up with that price? We just want to know how did you think that as Whole Food, I think it was $22.95 or $23.95. This is how did you I said, because that's my worth. I didn't know if it was going to sell or not, but that's my worth. Know your worth and do not back down on it. Remember, it's easy for you to add a price and you can and have a sale and discount it. It's hard to be at a lower price and try to raise it up because unless your quality change or your quantity change, it's not going to happen. And I have been across the board 4 ounces, 5 ounces, 6 ounces, but my price never changed. It went north. It never went south.
I tell you, it works. I'm a huge silence fan. Uh, you have easy to accommodate websites, both for the Orias O'Shea products as well as the um,
Fresh
fresh
meat pet.
mink.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Pet. Uh-huh.
exactly. Fresh mink pet, and you want people to go there and find out. Um, you've got some other dreams too. Do you want to share them with us about where you're headed, or not? It's your call.
Well, uh, well, one thing we're looking at doing is because my product has done so well. In the future, we're looking at doing stores, Orias O'Shea stores. I mean, I can say that it's an atmosphere. I've been working on it. We're planning towards that because I want everybody to have wonderful hair, beautiful skin, and I want them to be able to find it. You know, I love the whole food experience, but it's nothing like having complete control of your profits and your product. And when you work for the big box stores, you have to remember your profit is after their profit. So that's a given. Um, we're looking at doing some TV shows. As you know, Maggie, I had two. I had Detours when I was in Philadelphia on Bounce TV. And then when I came to Atlanta, it was called Sample This One. It was on the CW 69 channel. And couldn't fill that totally out because of the simple fact I was new in Atlanta. I had no connections. So I'm thinking about going back into the TV arena. We also The expo is called Fresh Mink Pets Expo. We renamed it because with branding, trademark, it's already done. So we're going to be doing that. It's an annual event here in Atlanta every year, and we hopefully we can keep it in the month of April. And I'm super excited. And then the rest of the things, other than just living right, doing good by people, and learning this whole pet world. I'm pretty sure it's more to come because Maggie, you know how my life goes. It's like I wake up in the morning, the phone will ring, a text or email. It's there, so it's kind of hard. But those are the things that I know right now that's solid. So
Now, if people are interested in being getting in touch with you with the fresh mink pet, that's really that's something you want to grow, and you're encouraging, in particular, minorities to please learn that their creativity is worth, and you want them to get in contact with you, right?
yes, I listened to some statistics. I was just on a local news channel, and they were talking about by 2032, the hair and beauty industry would be $79.3 billion. The pet industry is 200 plus billion annually now. Now, come on, people, come with me. I'm telling you, it is so much room, and that's plus. I said plus. So, with that being said, a lot of people need to just think about things that you can create for pets and come over to the side because there's plenty of billions over here you can get. Because right now they're saying the market in the beauty industry is 2.3 billion. There's no comparison. 200 plus billion, 2.3 billion, there's no comparison. It's a lot of room for you over here in the pet world. Please come. Yes. I encourage everybody when I see somebody when they come to be a vendor for me or I meet them out and they got some wonderful products, I says, "Can you do anything with that with pets?" And they said, "What do you mean?" So yes, please.
Continuing to lift up and
Yeah.
encourage people to move ahead.
Yes.
You've got um, a wonderful future, God willing, ahead of you. And again, hair looks gracious and beautiful.
Yeah.
You got your new music to, I'm sure, encourage you to do something more. And you moving into the world of pets and as it opens up to you. And I just am so happy for you. Continued blessings always.
Thank you.
Yeah. Well, I can tell you get ready to do a good cough. So, anything else you want to say to our viewers out there?
um remember excuse me. Remember all opportunities are not good opportunities. Study whatever opportunity you're given, study it first.
Yeah. Short and sweet. Well,
Short.
many thanks to entrepreneur and inventor Maria Lee Driver, founder and CEO of Fresh Mink Pets and Orias O'Shea. Her pet products can be found at freshminkpets.com. Oh, Maria, you know what? I just remembered we didn't talk about your book, Detours. I've got to talk about Detours before
Yes,
we close out because you know, I love the title, Detours. Don't give me directions if you don't know where you're going.
that's
I
right.
remember when you came out with that book, but
Yes,
there's so much truth in there and good guidance for following your mind.
yes, ma'am. And you helped me with that book, so I want to thank you again. um, the biggest thing with detours is when I say, "Don't give me directions and you don't know where you're going." If you ask someone a question and they give you an open answer, admire the effort, but you need to seek someone who actually have the answer for you because I've been told to go on QVC, Shark Tank, and I'm personally talking about myself to do this, to do that, to do this. And one day I stopped and I said, they're giving me all this advice, but have they done that? Do they know what it takes? Yes. So that's why I wrote the book. And I do have some upcoming material, but I'll share it later.
So book number two may be on its way. Is that what you're saying?
Well, actually, yes, but actually, Maggie, I did a book number two. It's called Responsive Poetry, and it's on Amazon. It's called My Thoughts, Your Feelings. And for those that don't know what responsive poetry is, when you look in my book and you read just a thought, it's just a feeling that I have. You can actually write down your thoughts. So that's why it says my feelings, my thoughts. So I did do that when I was in North Carolina, but I'm getting ready to come out with a 5 series. So stay tuned. So you have me back for that.
Oh, yes, definitely. Definitely. Okay. So listen, I can hear your voice really going now, but I forgot about detours and I'm going, oh my God, detours. Yes. All right. So
Mhm.
there you go, folks. Her pet products can be found at freshminkpets.com. Once again, that's freshminkpets.com. And of course, you can always go to oriasO'Shea.com for all of her human products. Maria's also Detours, Don't Give Me Directions If You Don't Know Where You're Going, is definitely worth a great read. Until next time, seek peace and spread lots of love. I'm Maggie Linton.